Hi everyone, this is Susan DeBay with Susan DeBay Art and Leather, and we're going to be doing a watercolor painting of a gnome, a Valentine's gnome. I have 4 to show you, but we're going to be painting one, and really had a good time doing these gnomes. So you can see here, I'm taping this down to a piece of cardboard because I want to be able to move it around. And if I stuck it to the table, I wouldn't be able to be moving it around so I could get it into a good painting position. So here you see I'm putting down a water wash, and I'll be doing wet into wet, just very light color. I want the gnome to be the main attraction here, so it's going to be a light background. Also, if at the end of the video, if you guys find this helpful, I sure would appreciate it if you would give me a subscribe and a like and a share. That would be awesome. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and edit and all that. So, but I have watched hours and hours of YouTube videos, and I want to give back to the community as much as I can. So that's why I'm doing them. So I'm now painting the hearts. This again is a Valentine gnome. So he's bringing 2 little hearts to his friend, whoever she may be. So I put down a little bit of color there, and then I clean off the brush. And while the brush is still damp, I then bleed the color over to the entire heart. So you have dark and a medium, and then I will put a highlight on it as well. Now I'm going to be doing his robe. I'm making alizarin crimson and some, what did I use? Oh, I think it's Payne's Gray. So I have that mix, and I'm going to be putting the shadows in first. I got new brushes. There's squirrel hair, and they are still shedding. I hope that they will stop doing that. But they do shed, and you can see me in these videos that I'm pulling loose hair out. I hope that doesn't keep happening, but I'm going to push through it and see what happens. I really like them. They hold a lot of water. And you can see here I'm putting in the shadows underneath his arm and on the left side because the light is coming from the right. And then I cleaned off the brush a little bit, and while the brush is still damp, I am bleeding the color over to the right side. I'll then come back in and make that left side darker, put more shadow on there. So along with the alizarin crimson, I put a little more Payne's gray in there. Now doing more shadows. Underneath the beard, the mustache. Now I'm just putting the shadows on his hat. Again, going back over under the arms to put a little deeper shadow on. I am going to be doing the nose now. If you take some alizarin crimson and some burnt umber, you can, and mix together, you can make a pretty good flesh tone out of it. So I put the darkest color on the left side of his nose and then bled it over to the right side. Let's talk palettes. I love the porcelain palettes. They're easy to clean. The color mixes well and it stays in one place. A lot of times if you have plastic or metal, it beads up and you really could have a lot of paint on there, but because it's all beaded up, it looks like there's hardly anything. But with the porcelain, you can see that round palette. That's where I go to mix everything. The paint kind of stays in one area and it doesn't get all over the place. So it's confined to that. This is a really great palette for that. I have the palette on the right. It has a small little wells. It's got 24 wells on it. I really enjoy doing that one because it's got 24 wells, and I also made a color chart so I can know when I'm out to refill with what color. So that's really important, and I use that a lot. So now I'm going to be doing some little finer work. So I switched brushes to a number 2. I cannot remember the name of these brushes, but I really like them, and they weren't all that expensive. I think they came from with a number 16 all the way down to a 0 or a 1 maybe. I'm thinking I'm doing his beard right now. And when you're painting the beard, it's just, you're really just painting the shadows in Payne's Gray. I've also been experimenting with leaving a lot of the color out, but the color that I do choose to use, I make it tastefully done. Doing the shadows, the color could be like monochromatic in a way with that purple, and just making some colors pop. You'll see when I get done, or I did show the pictures in the beginning of the video, how I just painted the one gnome in gray and allowed the hearts to be the color to stand out with that. It's like a reddish orange for the hearts, and it really makes it pop when you hold back on a lot of your color. So I'm experimenting with that, and I really like it. Doing the shadow under the nose and under the hat. I'm doing his mittens in black. There will be a lot of black accents when I get done with this, and you can see that the black will coordinate with the rest of the painting once you see it done. And here I'm trying to lift off a little bit of the color so I could put a highlight and blend the nose a little bit better. And when I'm all done with the painting, I do go back in and put a few highlights in with the white watercolor. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the gnome, and now I'm working on the background. I have small little hearts that I'm painting in a reddish orange color. When you use a color in your painting, I don't care if you're designing or if you're painting, you want to pollinate that particular color around the rest of the room or around your painting. So if I made the hearts that the gnome is holding in that reddish orange, then you want to repeat that somewhere in your painting. And you'll see it's repeated enough to where it kind of, you know now that it goes good with the painting. So you'll see when it's all done. I also have done, a little bit later on you'll see it, I've done a border. Yeah, here it is. And then I painted this. It's a little bit muted from the heart color. And I painted this completely around the border of the gnome. And once you see it getting it all painted, the border all painted, you'll see that I kind of grunge it up a little bit. And I don't know, I guess that's my style. I like to put a little grunge on it with a marking pen. So I took some darker red, put some Payne's gray with it. Then I'm just making some lines inside that border just to, I don't know, give it some character. But wait till you see after this what I do, because that's just how I like to do it. You'll see. I used to do a lot of faux finishing for houses and all that on the inside and do murals for a lot of folks. And I can't stand it when a color is just one solid color. It has to have more than one color, or it has to be faded, has to have some highs, lows, and mediums in the color range and the value. Now, here's what I'm talking about when I grunge it up. Oh, yeah? Oh, no. I'm doing hearts right here for the outside of the border. And then I will be painting those hearts black. And then putting a highlight on the hearts. Here's the number 2. When you're doing something like this, you want to make your hearts in different sizes and then also in different directions, because it gives your painting a little bit more interest. Okay, here's where I grunge it up. And basically, I'm just taking a marker and going out of the lines and just, I just like the look of this. I don't know why I like it so much. It just makes it look cool, I think. I do this with a lot of my paintings. At the end and at the beginning, I put pictures of it, of this gnome, and 3 other ones, so you can see all that grunge. And then, if that wasn't enough, after that, then I splatter it with some black paint. Oh, and I also took a different type of marker. This is a Tombow. And it's got a soft, like a silicone tip on it, where you can actually do some calligraphy. But I use it also to darken in around the border here to make it pop a little bit more. I love that pen for calligraphy. It doesn't wear out, and it really is a nice for calligraphy. If you guys have any questions, you can make comments and I'll try to get back to them. Oh, also, when I'm working with this marking pen, everywhere where there was a corner, I would darken that up. So you see at the corner of the hat, I'll darken that up. Anywhere there's a corner, it just kind of makes it pop a little bit more. And I do outline a lot of my paintings. I like the look. I don't try to stay in the line too much. I like to go out of the lines, and that's perfectly fine with me. It's kind of it keeps me a little bit loose to do paintings like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Here you can see I'm going into the corners and darkening them up. Okay, you can see here I'm splattering with black. And you may have seen this in other videos, but just in case you haven't, I take some black and I put a lot of water with it. And then you can take another brush and see what I'm doing here. And the paint will splatter onto your painting. And it doesn't get everywhere, but you should not have anything of value when you're doing splattering, because God only knows where it's going to land. And there it is. My little Valentine's gnome. This is one I did the day before. And these I did a while back. Hope you guys can like the video and subscribe to my channel. And please share. God bless you guys. And happy Valentine's.